So you've been seeing a lot of Edgar lately?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you've been over at his place like every day since you met him.
That's working on the Wellman deal. God. It's not like, Edgar.
Oh, Edgar. Edgar.
What?
Well, what? Look at it. You've said his name like a dozen times already this morning. Yes, you have.
What, do you have a problem with hearing the name Edgar?
No, I'm thinking, though, that you might be getting to develop a little crush on the guy.
Oh. Let's go drive by his house.
What doesn't kill us is making us stronger. We're gonna last longer than the greatest wall in China. Oh, that rabbit with a drum. If there's one thing that I learned while waiting for my turn, it's
Welcome to Rosanadu. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome back. It's been a minute. It's been summer. I'm sure we're all busy. This will be just like a short catch-up episode. I had to switch recording apps because Anchor no longer does like recording. So this is like a little bit of a test to see if this new software works. If it's too echoey, hopefully I fix that in post. I'm in a new place, and the last place was like very much a tiny cottage with no echo whatsoever. And this place has like the highest ceilings of anywhere I've ever lived. Not to brag, a little humble brag. But yeah, this will just be like a quick episode. I don't really have much Roseanne to talk about, but I wanted to get back in the swing of things. Definitely in preparation for doing more episodes, because I miss this so much. I've just been so busy. And like I said, I moved. It's taken a long time to get settled. Because this is kind of a different way of life in this new place, just a little bit. Let's see, what else has been going on? So yeah, I am in my bed again, just like the last episode where I was channeling Peyton Sawyer from One Tree Hill. And I am also trying to thread a needle and free some thread to thread a needle. So I can don my socks and fix a pair of leggings. Because I've definitely been putting that off, and it feels like something that they would do in Pride and Prejudice, and that's sort of like helping me do it because I'm reading that book right now. And so I'm finally getting to this, which really does need to be done because it's my favorite pair of leggings, and they're discontinued, so I can't just buy another. Gotta fix these. So, besides that, just enjoying summer. Taking a lot of late night walks because we live in a neighborhood that's like walkable. And that has definitely not been the case in, I don't know, since I moved away from the city probably. I've not been able to like just walk out the door and go for a long walk because we've just sort of lived on like major roads. So how's everyone's summer going? What have you been binge watching? What movies have you seen? What songs are you listening to? Have you checked out the Rosanadu playlist on Spotify? It's fine if you haven't, but I feel like it might be fun to talk about that playlist just because I feel like I could talk about every song in depth and probably make some Rosanadu connection. But yeah, how is summer where you are? I don't really see demographics for like who is listening where in the US, but then we also do have a fun amount of international listeners. I'd love to know what summer's like there. This is really reminding me of Pride and Prejudice because I know they talk about like doing the mending, at least in the movie. I haven't really heard them talk too much about sewing in the book yet. I'm on page like 160 or something. It's definitely a slow read, but it's incredibly enjoyable, and I'm surprised I never read it before, actually, or saw the movie, because I definitely would have been obsessed before this, but It's just like everything else, and I know I've said it before, probably talking about Book of Mormon, but I really do think that things come to you like at the right time. But the movie that I've been watching, the Keira Knightley one, not the Colin Firth one. Colin Firth, I do not really find appealing. Pretty much in the slightest. But the Keira Knightley one is so magical and has like made me love history more. I feel like it's like rejuvenated a love for. I never really loved period pieces. I always have like avoided them. So this is definitely a special case. But for some reason, I just was like, you know what? When we moved here, I was like, I think I need to watch something I would like literally never watch. But like seems like it would be comfy. And I chose that. And I've watched it. We moved in like the middle of June, and I've watched it so many times. And Jay makes fun of me so much. We actually found the DVD at a local thrift store. So I have the DVD. It is very good and funny. And it like has produced some very funny memes that I now get to enjoy as well. And one of them is Mr. Collins saying, "These excellent boiled potatoes." And Jay really found that line extremely funny. And lo and behold, it's like an iconic meme and line. If you guys haven't seen this movie, I have to recommend it. It's like basically the dream, and it just there's just something about it that I find so magical, to like live in the country and be so free that like there's no cars. It's just horses and carriages if you're lucky, but a lot of times just a horse, or sometimes just walking a few miles to town. I don't know. It just seems like it was a very similar time to now in like relationships and stuff, and how like the world works, and then just like so much more slowed down and enjoyable to live in. And things were like so beautiful back then and taken such good care of, made to last forever, and like they would get to go to such beautiful, grand places, and I don't know. Very different from now. Very, very different. Especially the design horror that is happening, like, in architecture, city planning, and, like, interior design. Yeah, I think that it's been a welcome change. And it kind of fits the vibe of the place we live now, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this building, I think she said, was like over 100 years old, which makes sense. I think she said it was like one of the oldest buildings in town. When we originally moved to this town, it was about to be the 200th year anniversary of the town. And then we've since like moved out of town and back now. And Jay and I have been joking that we like just move 6 miles every few years, which is actually pretty accurate. But anyway, this building that we're like in the one apartment in it, and it's on the second floor, and it just has like extremely tall windows to the point where it almost feels like it was like a bank or something, and I think it was not like a place to live for a very long time, so that makes sense. But anyway, it's got the vibe. It's an enjoyable read. But yeah, seems to all go magically well together. So that's been fun. Mr. Darcy also, like, I just had no idea. I had no idea, you guys. This Mr. Darcy in this movie. So I watched the movie first, and then I finally got the book from the library last week. And I mean, I usually can't get very far before I get tired, and then I'm gonna fall asleep. Or we're at the beach and I'm reading, and that doesn't last long because I just want to swim, or Jay wants me to swim. So I'm only 150 pages in, and it's like I have to read a lot of it twice because of the way they talk. But at the same time, not as much as I would have thought, honestly, given that it was written 200 years ago. Literally, it's pretty easy to read. And it's almost like the way they speak makes it more of a point and like almost lays it out more simply than how we speak now, in a way that like I haven't really fully grasped, maybe. I mean, I've read like old stuff before. I went through a period where I was obsessed with Shakespeare and like collected the books. What else have I read that's old? I don't know. Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I'm trying to think what else. Probably not much more than that. That's like very old. Phantom of the Opera is only like 100 years old. But I'm really enjoying it, and to the point where I'm like already dreading it being over. Even though I know I can read it again. But yeah, that has been very fun and unexpected. Unexpected that I would like something so much like that. That's like so old world. But I guess it just does make sense. I'm like obsessed with the country now. I just like want to live in the country. And that's where I did live for a very long time, 5 years. And that's where we started Rosanadu, which I cannot believe it's been that long. Like, how can it have been that long ago? A year and a half ago. Yeah. Alright, I guess that makes sense. But still, I think that is part of the appeal, is I'm just like, I just want to literally live in a house that's surrounded by no houses again. So I'm living vicariously through the Bennets. Yeah, I read that Jane Austen wanted, like, she wrote for entertainment to entertain people. And that's what it was. It was like, that's why it makes sense that, like, it's easy to read and sort of funny and relatable. Because they, like, didn't have TV, and all they had was, like, writing letters to each other and reading books. And that was it. And if someone in the family could play the piano, then you could hear music. Or if you could sing, then you could sing songs. And that's about it. But honestly, doesn't that sound kind of nice? Given how like addictive screens are, I think that it would be nice sometimes to like have a much easier way to just like not even have it be a part of your life. Or have it be toned down way. What else have I been doing and enjoying? Just been swimming a lot at every chance. Like I said, taking night walks, and sometimes we'll be like, oh yeah, we'll record the podcast when we get home. Like movie night or something. Or because Jay always encourages me to record, and then I'm always like, I know, but first I have to do the dishes, and then I'm too tired. I mean, it's normally just like, you gotta set aside time to record a podcast, and you gotta be in the mood. Yeah, it's been busy around here. Jay graduated 5th grade, just been swimming, working, on the railroad, all the live long day. Trying to keeping up with everything else, like self-care, journaling, housework, unpacking, all that kind of stuff. So that's taken up a lot of time, and it's just summer. So, you know what? I give myself permission. I'm off the hook. Alright, what else should we talk about? Yeah, I feel like this summer is kind of not like summering the way that it usually does, and I don't know if that's because we don't live now at a place where we can just walk outside in our bare feet and have a fire and stuff like that. I don't know. It's also just like we're only halfway through summer technically, so we're a little bit past halfway now. And I consider summer in September too, and that's when we do a lot of swimming because it's like the off season and they're not as packed and the water's warm. Yeah, I haven't really swam in a pool this summer, which is very sad, but I did recently come across a YouTube and Instagrammer who blessedly documents his pool cleaning and pool repairing business. And for me, that makes me so happy. And I don't know if I've said anything about them specifically, but my nan and granddad growing up, we lived in the same town as them, and they had a beautiful backyard with a pool, and they literally lived on a block with a beach as well. But the pool was the main attraction, and we spent just all of our time there in the summer, literally all of our time. And it was the biggest blessing that I could basically imagine to grow up with. And there's nothing like that feeling of spending a day in a pool and being tired. But yeah, I don't really know anyone with a pool, so I have not done that in a while. And that YouTube channel is definitely scratching that itch. Tell you what, making life worth living. That's what it's come to in this world. What are we doing, folks? Let's see, what else have I been doing? Trying to get a Whopper at McDonald's, as Jessa Reed would say. Definitely been doing some of that. I think you know what I mean, though. You're trying to get something somewhere where it doesn't have it. And let's see, what else? Oh, speaking of Pride and Prejudice, Mr. Collins is also in The White Lotus season 2. He's the bad guy. And I'm sure everyone's watched that, right? Let's do a podcast about that show. I'm so obsessed. I could talk for 20 minutes just about it right now. But Mr. Collins, yeah, he plays the bad guy in that, and I've been watching that. Basically every few weeks, I'm okay, I'm gonna watch The White Lotus season 2. It's just so summery. It's got that summer feel. I mean, they're literally on the beach in Italy. Sicily, to be specific. And Jay and I are planning a vacation that's going to end in Italy. And I cannot tell you how much this show makes me excited for it, just to see the Mediterranean. So I can't stop watching that. Literally, like I said, every few weeks I'm just gonna watch this again. And I mean, there's definitely scenes I skip because you don't need to watch every scene of a show once you've seen it a few times. That's my motto. That's how I do this. I love to rewatch things, but you don't have to rewatch every single scene. If you don't want to. If you do, that's fine. But I just find it, very comforting. Everyone's so annoying, but real. And I don't know. I don't know exactly why I love it so much. I think it's just because the resort is so beautiful. There's so many shots of the water, and it's funny. It really is funny, and it's pretty chill. I appreciate that it's slow paced because then I can just have it on, and it's not requiring much from me. I don't know. I'm happy I watched it. I resisted watching it for the longest time, even though people kept recommending it. And I had seen the first season and liked it a lot, but not enough to rewatch that season. I think the characters in season 2 are much more fun and watchable. And I think the setting, I mean, Hawaii is beautiful and everything, but there's just something about Italian beaches that just have my heart, even though I've never been there. But we'll get there, and we will appreciate it when we're there. And I appreciate that my Instagram algorithm shows a lot of it to me. So that is pretty much what I've been doing this summer. Would love to know what you guys have been doing. I don't have Peacock right now, so I can't watch Roseanne. And my usual pirating site, which I don't download, but you can stream very easily, it's down right now. So I did not watch a Roseanne episode, but I'll tell you what, it's there, and you can watch it, and then you'll be ready for the next time we do. So thank you guys for coming back and listening, and thank you to any new listeners as well. I definitely want to talk more about many things that we've started talking about on here, and things that we've yet to discuss. I feel like there's more to talk about just when it comes to like what we've talked about here today, but I kind of wanted this one to be short to get over that initial hurdle since it's been so long. But yeah, I definitely want to get weird in the coming episodes, talk about some more of the esoteric or the metaphysical or just science and art, and definitely want to talk about music more. That's another thing, is I've had like a sort of back burner project lately where I've been trying to find a place locally to like host a dance, because I think it would be really fun, and I don't know, maybe give us all, because I mean there are ecstatic dance classes that you can run and do and stuff like that, but I just want us to like all be able to just like dance to fun music. And I used to throw parties and etc. We'll get into it sometime, I guess. My old life, when I would go to and arrange punk shows for no apparent reason, because everyone was trash. But you know what? That's what you do when you're younger. You love trash. And I miss just like throwing parties in general, because I'm like a lot of times the host at holidays and stuff, simply because I enjoy it. And I've had the space. I've been lucky enough to live in beautiful spaces. And this is no exception. And I can't wait for our couch to come so we have more places for people to sit. And for us to sit and watch Pride and Prejudice. And yeah, so that's been happening, the dance thing, and also just like random things about living in this small town have really just kept me busy. And I mean, it's tourist season, I'm sure I've told you. Very simply exhausting amount of tourists pouring in. Alright, maybe that's a little extreme. I almost want to say it feels less congested than last year, but I do not know why that would be, and it's maybe just because I'm avoiding the bigger beaches even more, and just avoiding basically every town but my own until Labor Day, when things slow down. Yeah, it's a big blessing living in a place where people want to come, and I definitely recognize that, but it's also just sort of annoying when it is small and you can't fit the people to come to see. But then there's me also planning a trip to Italy, wanting to probably go to small town beaches as well. So what are you gonna do? This is what makes the world go round. We're all annoying in turn. So I hope that everybody is doing well out there in Xanadu land. And I hope that you'll return with me next time, where we'll talk about something definitely more involved than this was. Possibly. I mean, I do want to talk more about the White Lotus, but I feel like maybe it'll just come up again naturally next time. Naturally. Jenna Maroney, 30 Rock. That's another one. Jay, I finally introduced Jay to 30 Rock. That's another one on Peacock. Let's just do the 30 Rock pod. It's so funny. But also, that would just be me retelling all the jokes. So just watch it yourself. Or rewatch it. Finally showed it to Jay. And he loves it. I showed him the 2 Weird Al cameos that he did. And he's already obsessed with Weird Al. That's been his obsession this summer. And I'll admit, I've been enjoying Weird Al as well. I definitely got a kick out of him in the 90s when I was a kid, but I do feel like it was always geared more towards guys or whatever. And so I don't know how much into it I was, but now me and Jay definitely have some of his songs in rotation, because they're wonderful, and he chooses the best songs, and they are very funny. Like, the premise is usually very funny. Been listening to a lot of the Beach Boys, so I have to recommend that you listen to the Beach Boys and watch something summery like Pride and Prejudice or The White Lotus. And also, please tell me what you watch that is summery and fun. I bet that I'm forgetting some things that I've been watching or listening to. I feel like this has been a time, like this summer has been like, I've been needing to like recharge and do self-care and sort of catch up with myself after the move and stuff. But now I feel like we're back, and I definitely want to do this more because it's just very fun for me, and I don't know. I definitely enjoy doing it. And I hope you enjoy listening. So check out my website if you would like to. You can get really, really, really cheap digital prints that have like 100 different uses and are a great way to support the podcast if you care to. And also the same things exist on Etsy, and that Etsy link is at the bottom of the website. Or you can just go to Diana Lee Artist. And the website is dianaleedriscoll.com. Also connect with me on Instagram. There is a rosanadu.pod Instagram that is not very active, but I'm hoping to make it more active. And then there's just my main, which I'll put in the show notes. I just would love to connect and hear from you, and tell me what you're listening to or what you want to hear. And alright, well, we'll be back soon. This was wonderful to get back into it. Really hope everyone's doing well out there. Take care, be well, enjoy the sun, enjoy the fireflies, enjoy the stars. Alright, everybody, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time on Rosanna Do.